What if I told you there is a form of life that is completely invisible to your immune system? A type of microbe that eats, grows, reproduces, yet your body wouldn't even recognize it as alive. It doesn't belong in nature. It doesn't play by the rules of biology. And if it escapes the lab, we might not have any way to stop it. This is not a horror movie. This is not a sci-fi plot. This is real science. This is mirror life. And scientists are warning, it could become one of the biggest existential risks humanity has ever created. Today, we're going to unpack what mirror bacteria are, how they're being made, why some researchers are calling for a global moratorium, and what happens if this synthetic life gets loose in the real world. 1. The basics of mirror life. To understand how mirror life threatens us, we need to look at the basic building blocks of biology, specifically something called chirality. Chirality is a property of molecules. It means handedness. Just like your left hand and right hand are mirror images of each other but can't be perfectly superimposed, many molecules in biology have this handedness too. Amino acids, the building blocks of proteins, come in two forms, left-handed and right-handed. On Earth, life has standardized itself on left-handed amino acids. All living organisms, from the simplest bacteria to the most complex human brains, use this same left-handed code. It's one of the great mysteries of biology. Why life chose one side over the other? We don't know for sure, but we do know that everything from DNA replication to enzyme function relies on this consistency. Now imagine flipping the script. What if you created life that used right-handed amino acids instead? Life that mirrors natural biology but exists outside its framework? That's mirror life, or more precisely, synthetic mirror life. And it's not theoretical. Scientists have already created mirror versions of DNA, RNA, and proteins. They've even begun assembling these pieces into functioning microbial systems, right-handed bacteria that can survive, metabolize, and reproduce. This is a biological revolution. But with it comes a terrifying question. What if mirror life escapes? 2. The risk of unstoppable contamination. Here's the thing. Our immune systems, and in fact, every predator, virus, and defense mechanism in Earth's biosphere, have evolved over billions of years to recognize and interact with left-handed life. But mirror bacteria, they're completely alien. Your immune cells wouldn't see them as invaders. Enzymes wouldn't latch onto them. Viruses couldn't infect them. Even antibiotics wouldn't work, because they're built to interact with the standard version of biology. In a way, mirror bacteria are invisible and invincible. If such an organism were accidentally released into the wild, it could spread unchecked. It wouldn't face natural competition. It could outcompete native microbes, consume resources, and colonize ecological niches without resistance. And because it wouldn't cause the usual immune or viral responses, it might go undetected for years. 3. The call for a global moratorium. In early 2025, a team of researchers in the UK made international headlines when they issued a stark warning in the Times. They called for a global moratorium, a complete halt, on mirror life research until proper containment and oversight protocols are established. Their fear? That the pace of innovation in synthetic biology has wildly outstripped our ability to regulate it. In labs around the world, mirror DNA is being synthesized. Mirror proteins are being built. The theoretical barriers to creating fully synthetic organisms, living entities built entirely from right-handed biomolecules, are falling rapidly. And unlike nuclear science, which is heavily regulated, guarded, and tracked by international treaties, mirror life research is being conducted by small teams, sometimes even at private biotech firms or universities, with little oversight. There are no binding global rules, no centralized watchdog, and no clear answers to critical questions, like what happens if mirror microbes leak into wastewater systems, soil samples, or are carried unknowingly on clothing or equipment. The UK researchers emphasize that once mirror life is released, its invisibility to natural immune responses would make it incredibly difficult to contain. They also warned that this kind of synthetic biology could be misused. Imagine a bioweapon built from mirror life, immune to antibiotics, invisible to medical tests, and capable of surviving harsh environments. The threat wouldn't just be ecological, it could be geopolitical. 4. Why are we doing this at all? So why are we making this? Why build something so potentially dangerous? Proponents of mirror biology argue that it offers enormous benefits. Because mirror bacteria are immune to natural viruses, they could be deployed in virus-rich environments, like in waste treatment plants, oil spills, or even the human gut, to perform useful functions without getting infected or mutated. They could be used to create ultra-safe drug delivery systems, since mirror proteins wouldn't break down in the body the same way natural ones do. Some envision mirror enzymes being used in manufacturing, food production, or even in space missions, where contamination must be tightly controlled. And perhaps most optimistically, mirror biology could help us answer the age-old question: what does alien life look like? By creating mirror life here on Earth, scientists believe we might simulate the kind of alternative biochemistry that could exist on other planets. 5. Parallels to the atomic age. Many scientists have begun comparing mirror biology to nuclear technology. The parallel is striking. In the early 20th century, atomic science was an exciting frontier. Researchers were unlocking the secrets of the universe. The discovery of fission opened the door to revolutionary energy sources and devastating weapons. The Manhattan Project was meant to harness this knowledge before anyone else could. But what followed, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, the Cold War, showed that knowledge without ethical foresight is a dangerous thing. Should we be scared? So, should we be scared? Maybe. But more importantly, we should be paying attention. Mirror life isn't just another laboratory curiosity. It represents a fundamental shift in our relationship with biology. We're not just editing genes anymore. We're building life from scratch, life that doesn't play by Earth's rules. That opens doors, huge, exciting, unthinkable doors. But some of those doors might not close again. What happens when mirror bacteria end up in a lake, or a food supply, or a hospital? How do we treat something our immune systems don't even register? We don't have answers, and that's the scariest part. The future of synthetic life may hold breakthroughs for medicine, industry, and science. But if we push too fast, without guardrails, we might find ourselves in a world where nature's rules no longer apply. And in that world, survival might depend on who owns the mirror. If this story unsettled you, or if you're fascinated by the boundary between science and existential risk, consider subscribing to Whispers of Fiction. We bring you real stories from the edge of what's possible, where the future gets strange and the truth sounds like science fiction. Let us know in the comments. Do you think we should halt mirror life research? Or is the risk worth the reward? Thanks for watching. And stay curious, but cautious.